Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for a Friday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Ullman, along with Keith Fustel. We've got 9 today, a fast track and a big weekend. Not only do we have our Mardi Gras celebration tomorrow, open to the public, food and drink specials beginning at noon Eastern, but it's almost time for the 150th Preakness Stakes. Tickets are now on sale at Preakness.com. This is going to be one that you're not going to want to miss. The final Preakness at Old Hilltop before we build a new one.
Go out in style. I'm really looking forward to it, and a lot of things to come in the future. So yeah, let's end it on a really, really high note at Old Hilltop, and get tied on. Tickets going on sale as we speak. Correct? I think they're up and ready to roll. And leading in preview day, Laura, look at this: the handicapping challenge Saturday, April 19th. Don't miss out on this great opportunity.
Nice to have handicapping contests back here at Laurel Park. This is a hybrid contest. You can play here. You can play online through your various ADWs. Nice buy-in as well. Lots of stakes races. Great action at Pimlico. Keep an eye on the Preakness Preview Day handicapping contest. Let's take a look at the weather. I talked to the legendary Jimmy McHugh earlier today, and he said it is windy out. Maybe that will have some effect on the way the track is playing, but it's nice to see a fast track, and it's nice to see the temperature in the high 40s right now, hopefully to get into the low 50s.
Yeah, sunny skies pretty much abound this weekend. A little chill in the air comes back to us on Sunday, but all in all, just dealing with a little bit of a breeze, 17, 20 miles an hour for the winds maybe at the top, but all in all, a beautiful day here at Laurel Park. And I think we're going to have a really nice weekend. The track played I thought reasonably fair all last week, and we'll see what it brings today. But interesting card again. We went through it and talked with Dave a little bit last night, Dave Rodman. We're kind of all over the map again with our picks. It shows you how difficult these races are to decipher. I kind of like keying on one or two horses in my exactas. You hear me saying that ad nauseum, but that's the way I like to attack. Take a couple prices and work them in there. But good card today. I think it's a good betting card. All in all, we've got a couple targets down the road we'll talk about with the Pick 6, the Chesapeake Pick 6, and the Jackpot Super High 5.
Let's start things off with race number 1. We're going 3/4 of a mile. It's now winners a 2-life claimer for fillies and mares, 12-5 down to 10. Let's take out the number 4, Quit Quai. We're going to start things off with your top selection in here, but before we do, 12% value pick 5. I don't want to forget that. I think it's the best bet in racing. Low 12% takeout, 50-cent minimum wager. We thank everybody who's been supporting the wager. It's been doing very, very well recently.
Yeah, getting an early jump start. You know, we're one of the first signals, if not the first signal out there. So we enjoy you joining us and getting this thing kick-started every day. So 12% takeout, 50-cent minimum wager in the early value pick 5. I have a $32 wager today, a little $32 bet, 4 deep to get you started. The 4 was a key scratch. That horse was going to be in the mix there. I'm going to wait another day. I think that horse comes back Saturday or Sunday. Quick, Kate. 1, 2, 5, 8 to get us started. So 4 deep. Then we rattle it down. We've got a pair in every race in there. Race 2 with the 4 and the 7 Gilda's Girl. A little bit of value. Might lose a little bit with that scratch of the 3 ribbons in her hair in race 2. Race 3, the 2 and the 3. Papa Paulie P. A lot of changes there for that runner now in the Brittany Russell barn. I like the 3 Enabler as a little shot as well. I'll talk about that one. I thought this horse is running sneaky good. Running lines, okay, but I think a little bit better visually. Race 4 with the 3 and the 5 lifting off that big debut, now changing barns and up in class. Wrap it up. Race 5 with the 5 and the 9. Pit Stop Man and Addie's Laddie TNT. What a race that was last time for us. Boys put him to sleep on the front end. It's a $32 early value pick 5 play.
Competitive sequence again. Take advantage of the low takeout. 12% on our value pick 5s early and late. Let's start things off with your top selection in here. That is the number 8, Shining Spirit. And Shining Spirit, I thought, did some good things on the lead last time out.
I thought so as well. I thought the track that day, fairly fair, heavier track though, and it just got a little testing after battling through those internal fractions. It got involved early, took heat to very, very late just to fade. I like the turn back for this runner. Michael Gorham, Maina, they've been teaming up, doing great of late. 5 of 9, 7 of 5 of 9 in the 5 of 7 in the money at this distance. Turning back, I just like the trip Shining Spirit's gonna get. She's come out of some races with some decent flow, Dan. I think all eyes are going to be on Doris just slaying it early with the change of equipment here going on, and I do think My Sassy Valentine's going to be close, but I think Shining Spirit with a horse like Teach and Tear doesn't have a lot of speed or insight, can get very good stalking position, saying that 2 or 3 path around the turn and strike from the head of the lane home.
Yeah, doesn't need the lead to win. This horse uncharacteristically acted up behind the gate last time out, then dueled with 2 other horses that finished behind her. So she won the pace battle. She lost the race war. She doesn't need the lead to succeed. I think the way you're drawing it up is going to work out perfectly. A nice stalking outside trip. And what could be a terrible harbinger of things to come for me this week? I've already sent in the wrong selection for race number 1. My top pick is the number 5. 5, 8, 2, and 1. That's on me. I apologize to our great crew. Just the Thing is my top selection in this race. This horse broke well last time out, and then they decided to take this horse in hand, let the speeds go, made a 3-wide bid on the turn, and just couldn't put away the 2-1 winner. And maybe that's sort of the story with Just the Thing. She's 1 for 25. She likes to settle for second and third, but I think she might be the one to close if this pace is hot.
I wonder if that fooled Chavez last time. She's really not that sharp is what she was last. She was into it. You're right. She took back, made that move. I would have liked to have seen Stormy Midnight come to run a little bit better last weekend. She did not, but I think the flow is going to be her liking. I think you might see Just Think come from a little bit further back. That's just kind of shocked me the way she was out there that soon, going 5.5 a second time sprinting it. I think she'll be in range around the turn. Let's look at the 2, My Sassy Valentine. That's our video spotlight here for Fox Toriaba. On a track that we have labeled as a little bit of a closer's lean, this horse was hustled into and was able to go clear with a pretty good burst of speed and was able to kind of set it under a rating hole.
Yeah, a little bobble after the break as we saw from the head-on, and then just simply too fast for these horses, and won it like an even money shot should, just drawing away in the stretch to win as much the best, earning a career best Buyer speed figure. It's quite possible this 5-year-old mare is just finding peak maturity at this point in her career. My one concern is right next door is a very fast horse getting blinkers. The 3 Doris is slaying it. I'm not sure if My Sassy Valentine is going to be able to get that sort of trip that she did last time, get to the lead, get a little bit of a breather, and sprint on home, but that was a very likable performance.
It was, and you look at the internals. I've got it, early internals equal to Joe the Jet, a 40K non-winners, a 2 in life boys, and compared to some of the other races, wasn't bad. So pretty sharp effort there. The 13 and 1 for this type of group was good. So stepping up from the maiden ranks, you've got that one last start comment that hasn't been really good for this farm. But I do think she can go ahead, break, if she's up with that pace. If she wants to take back a little bit, I think she's got 2 moves within her against this group.
Keith's going with the cutback, the 8 Shining Spirit, 8, 5, 2, 1. I'll go 5, 8, 2, and 1. Maybe Just the Thing can rally and finally get it done. She's only 1 for 25. Let's move on to race number 2. It is the first leg of our 50-cent pick 4. Let's take out the 3 Ribbons in Her Hair. I like that horse a little bit, but that leaves another Jamie Ness runner as our 9 to 5 morning line favorite. That's the 6 How Sweet She Is. Candy Craze will be ridden by the X-Man Xavier Perez. First leg of the 50-cent pick 4. We've got 3 pick 4s on a 9-race card today, early, middle, and late. And again, as we always like to say, if you get knocked out of the pick 5, we don't want that, get involved in the pick 4. And if you're not knocked out of the pick 5, get involved in the pick 4.
And I tell you, looking at race 2, not a
No
slew of
speed.
speed. And I'm moving outside. You've got her in the mix. The 7, Gilda's Girl, one of my top plays today. And I'll just let you know she's going to be one of my best plays, and we'll hand it that. But Gilda's Girl last time out, I thought ran considerably well. The speed, Lady Charlotte was able to kind of go out there and control it. She came back and tested the pace for a while against a little bit better, but I like the way she closed against the grain. 3 clear of a next out winner in Maximo Madness there for Rudy Sanchez Salaman. Bumps up off the claim. We've got a stat here for trainer Mike Giralis, and very confident move.
It's pretty good. First off the claim on dirt for the Giralis barn, 10 for the last 21, 48%, a $3.14 return on investment. Gilda's Girl's going to have to stretch out to a mile and a 16th. She has run well around 2 turns in the past, and your opening statement was key. There is no speed in this race at all. Toledo has got to break and get to the front.
Yeah, just break, go clear, try to drop over. Maybe By the Glass will show a little bit. I think she can be forward within this group of runners. But Gilda's Girl, I like the confidence move up. And Billy Humphrey had a lot of nice things to say in his report. So go to our website, check out our handicapping guide, a ton of useful information. He was impressed. I like this move. She's proven at the route of ground, at the 2 turns. I mean, her best number was I think on that off track, on a little bit of a muddy, good surface. I think she works right here.
What about Audibly, a horse that needs pace and just might simply be up against it? Last time out, she got the right setup. The track seemed closer-friendly. It was a wet track. She kicked everyone down. Now she's going first time for Gina Perry, who scored with 10-1 Urban Symphony back in December, and then buoyant off the claim January the 31st. So maybe it'll be 3 months in a row, first off the claim for Gina Perry, but boy, it's up to Villalobos to at least get this horse within hailing distance, or else she's going to be left with too much to do.
Yeah, she's jumped up. She's run 3 really good races in a row. I do think she's going to be a little victim of this flow. She's going to need, I think, By the Glass to go on attack early. That duel developed into the far turn and around the far turn last time. She got a great setup. She's going to take a little bit of money. She's jumping up in class. I go elsewhere. I've got to lean towards a horse that's going to be on or near the lead, and that's going to be the 7, Gilda's Girl.
We talked about By the Glass. 3 starts back, going this 2-turn mile in a 16th distance. She was able to stay close to very slow fractions. J-Rod was aboard that day. Mania takes the mount here on By the Glass. I think that's going to try to be key for her.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how sweet she is, because she figures to take money for Jamie Ness. This is a horse that maybe just didn't care for a wet track last time out. J-Rod had her in the pocket. She got a little shuffle on the turn, and then she just didn't finish with a lot of strength, but she sure looked good 2 starts back.
Yeah, and it's a little difficult. When they're going slower and you got to get that suck back move, you shuffle a little bit to regather momentum. It's not easy. Those horses up front had the advantage. Valentin that day was able to get it done. I know Concrete Phase is a horse that likes to make that move from off the pace, but you're right. A little freshening, a little drop. She certainly works in here. Again, going to take plenty of play here with J-Rod for Ness.
Keith's going with the speed, 7-4-6-2. I'm hoping for a little bit of speed to run with the speed. I'm going 2, 4, 6, and 7. Race number 3, 3/4 of a mile. This is for 3-year-olds, 12,005 down to 10. We have a field of 7 in this race, and I want to start things off with the number 5. My top selection, Bad Boy Blaze. We have a trainer stat for trainer Jerry Robb. When Jerry brings horses back within 2 weeks on dirt, recently it's been a good angle. 4 for the last 11, 36%, a $2.67 return on investment. Bad Boy Blaze, last time out, I thought faced a speed-friendly track, was wired by the odds-on favorite Sir Mick. I thought it was a solid trip for that horse that day. Maybe he just was in against a horse that's better. I'm expecting a similar trip here. Should be right there when they turn for home.
Definitely could follow through a little bit better second off the break, and that's the move we talked about. He did it a couple weeks ago with a winner. You're looking at 25% with an ROI over 260 over the last year or so for Jerry Robb with this move. And I do think the flow is definitely going to be there for Bad Boy Blaze. I think Papa Paulie P, though, you've got some serious changes. This horse was left here, goes to Russell, blinkers on, LASIK's on. 23 opening quarter, 47-1, quick enough against this group, maybe with all the additions to go ahead and clear. This horse just packed it in last time out, and I was just wondering, I said, okay, this horse is probably going to get LASIK's, and did. Kissling enough speed, but does he really want to go right into the teeth of it too soon and get caught up in a duel with Papa Paulie P? They're going to have to keep this horse honest up front. But I think Enabler is a horse that definitely intrigues me in here. I thought this horse ran sneaky good 2 races back at a mile behind Buoyant when that thing controlled the pace. Wide against an okay group for 20, churned on willingly. Paired up better numbers, improved with the LASIK's. I think Enabler can sit just close enough. I'm going to need somebody to press Papa Paulie P. I don't want this horse to shake free around the turn and be nursing. But I think Enabler can definitely get into the mix first or second in this race.
I wonder if a long shot in here is the 4 Up in Flames for John Salzman Jr. Interesting that J-Rod takes the mount here. And look what happened the last time J-Rod took the mount on Up in Flames. 47-1, 3 starts back. This horse was able to save ground, got up for second at a huge price. Maybe J-Rod wakes Up in Flames up at a price race. Again, I agree with you that Papa Poli P is the speed. I think you might have the best closer, and you're getting one on a class dip. 3-2-6-5 for Keith, 5-3-1-6 for me in race number 3. Race number 4. This is one of our features of the day. We're going a one-turn mile. It is an allowance optional claiming event for 3-year-olds. $62,500 is the optional claiming price. It is the first leg of the Chesapeake Pick 6 jackpot wager. It's a 20-cent minimum, and I believe we've got a nice little carryover going into this Chesapeake jackpot wager Pick 6. Pick the first place finisher in each of 6 races. If you're the only one, you get the whole jackpot. And we also have the first leg of our middle Pick 4, 50-cent minimum Pick 4 wager beginning in race number 4. Let's start things off with the number 3, lifting. We have a video spotlight for lifting's career debut. This was a very expensive yearling purchase who debuted for Brittany Russell at $20,000 maiden tag, and it was not a suspicious drop. Lifting just dominated this field from start to finish, and I guess the biggest surprise was Lifting wasn't even the favorite. He was taken out of that race by Kieran McGee, and it looks like he's going to be running and gunning again.
I mean, just absolutely relished this off going to win going away by 15 and change. Speed was good that day, and it could have been just a perfect combination for this kind of performance, because you're talking about, look at the buyer speed figures comparatively to the other well-manned Russell horse that day. This horse ran faster, clearly faster. Now, it could also, sometimes we talk about the first race aberration of the way the track plays. Willard talks about that sometimes. But here's a stat for Kieran McGee. First after the claim on the dirt, he's only 6 for the last 18. 33% with a 236 ROI. The key is, will lifting, obviously a fast track today. The moisture's not there. Will a horse like Amy's Music, Bjorn with the blinkers on, Mr. Mendelsloh, keep this one honest, or you think he'll be able to go ahead and clear?
I think he'll make the lead. I'm not sure he's going to be absolutely loose as he ended up on the far turn last time out, but I think he's fast enough to make the lead, and I don't think J-Rod's going to fool around, even with the long stretch of the mile run. Bjorn is very interesting to me. That's my top pick down towards the inside. Wired by the favorite last time out. The pace wasn't very fast. He was 4 wide on the backstretch. He tried to get into it 3 wide in between on the turn, and he finished behind the 2 favorites, and Pay Billy is a really nice horse. He won that race. He came back to just miss in the Miracle Wood with an 83 buyer. I like that they're putting blinkers on, and I just think he can tuck in behind the leaders in a good position under Weston Hamilton and give him a clear run on the stretch, and let's see what he can do.
That debut really resonates. It's still right there in the noggin. Rough start. 3 wide, tipped out 3 wide to win going. I think this horse has talent, just trying to work a couple things here with the blinkers, and I do think he's rateable. I do think he can kind of sit that trip and kind of slowly matriculate up to the pace, top of the stretch, and go from there. But touching upon lifting real quick about breeding bottom side, I mean, you're looking at, there is route there within this family, so this stretch out of the furlong looks okay. The extra Amy's Music, the 6. This is a horse I had on the ticket, off the ticket. It's now off. I think it's a horse Robin really likes today. Got the off track, the McLean's Music last time, and really fought it out tooth and nail. We have a video spotlight for Amy's Music most recent race on February the 1st.
As you see, this horse never got a breather in here, is just battling for the lead with this 30-1 long shot who ends up tiring and finishes 4th. Amy's Music is really under a hard ride here. These fractions are solid, and the fact that he's going to keep on keeping on and staying on to finish a close 3rd, I think is a good sign, because right here, it looks like he's finished. He's going to be backing up, tiring all the way, and he keeps on grinding to finish 3rd. This was his first start going a route of ground, a mile and a 16th. He gets a slight turn back, and he doesn't need the lead to win. I think he was keyed up because he was stretching out for the first time in this race. I think he'll be sitting off of the speeds, and he certainly is a contender in this race. Michael Trombetta, a second time Lasix on dirt, 6 for the last 24, 25%, a $2.21 ROI.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken as well. I think Amy's Music, when you look at Trombetta's runners, the second routes are okay as well. I think Billy Humphrey might have touched upon that in his analysis of this race. So I'd go with the 3. I think Roll on Jesse. He's a horse, again, pace dependent. I think he's going to get enough today to go ahead and make the run. He got help 3 races back, or he kind of rolled along late to get by Bjorn. But I can see another situation where he can kind of sit back, let things develop up front, and close into it. And you got 8-1 on the morning line. I think that's about right. You got to demand a little bit of price on Roland Jesse, but I think I like the setup for him today.
He is a strong closer. He just needs pace and a little bit of time to get into a rhythm. Keeps open lifting, makes it 2 for 2. This time off the Kieran claim, 3-5-4-1. I'm looking forward to seeing what Bjorn can do with blinkers 1, 3, 6, and 5. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the last 5 races of the card, the first leg of the late 12% takeout value pick 5.
Baltimore! To the city of Baltimore, to all the fans watching around the world, riders up!
They're off in the Preakness.
All eyes of the world will be on Baltimore.
They're head and head. Seabiscuit leads by a length. Seabiscuit is the winner.
And it was a powerhouse race again by the big, strong Secretariat.
Sunday Silence takes the lead at the quarter pole.
American Pharaoh, phenomenal in the Preakness. And the filly did it! Rachel Alexandra! Here is Smarty Jones. He wins the Preakness by a dozen lengths.
She's the brave, wins the Preakness.
Today at the races, 4 down, 5 to go on this Friday morning, soon to be Friday afternoon. Race number 5, 7/8 of a mile. This is a starter optional claiming race, 8,000 the starter allowance, optional claiming tag of 12.5. Let's take out the 7, Delice Vita. We'll see that one a little bit later on in the weekend. It leaves us with a field of 8. The 9, Addie's Laddie TNT is the morning line favorite. It is the first leg of our late value pick 5 with a low 12% takeout. This late pick 5 has carryover potential.
Absolutely. And it gets you started here in race 5 with a really, really tough race. And we've got Mackenzie Pfeiffer's ticket. Again, 12% takeout, 50-cent minimum. Get in on this late value pick 5. Max got a ticket, $27. She's going to start you off, wow, with a pretty bold single here. Bill of Rights at 5-1 on the morning line. We'll talk about that one in a second. Go to race 6, 2 deep. Imperial Sky, bye-bye Wicked Eye. We've got a video spotlight involving both of those runners looking to make runs from off the pace. She goes 3x3x3 to wrap it up. Race 7, the 1A stays in, Quick Tempo. The 3, Monday Morning QB. And the 4, Laddie Dance is a little price for Bobby Leaf. Bobby Leaf is back in the house, huh? Race 8, 1-4-5. Wild Vine with the Lasix back on. Could be very tough in the 8th, and she's going to wrap it up here in race 9 with 3 runners. The 1, Sippin' Time. The 4, Wampy off a little bit of a trouble trip and a drop. And the 6, Girl Gone Wild for Kieran. Blinkers being added. It's a $27 late pick 5 ticket, a contentious group of races. I tell you, she's going out really right off the bat. And again, if that one doesn't quite get it done in race 5, jump back into the late pick 4. Let's talk about Bill of Rights.
Bill of Rights, we have a trainer stat for Joanne Shankel, who reclaimed Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights did some really good work for Joanne Shankel back in 2023, earning some good buyer speed figures. Shankel, 2 weeks or less layoffs on the dirt, 3 for the last 13, 23%, a $2.62 ROI. The break is the key for Bill of Rights, who has not gotten away well in the last 2 starts, especially last time from the rail draw. Didn't break well, kind of in tight in the opening quarter mile, stayed down inside. Wasn't the most comfortable trip at odds on. Would I have liked to have seen Bill of Rights finish a little bit stronger? Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe getting back out to 7 furlongs will mitigate if he breaks poorly.
Yeah, and I think he's got just the right amount of tactical speed. I don't think he's nearly as fast. I don't think so. I mean, pit stop, man, he looks like he's lost maybe a little bit of a step out of that first quarter of a mile. He used to be a pretty quick horse. Got cloud music to the outside. Addie's Laddie TNT took advantage of that sharp break, but maybe Bill of Rights right. I think with a good start can get into great position by the time they head into the far turn. And maybe we can get Phil to bring that video up for later for Mac and Callie, because I tell you what, the break was bad and then paused a couple times. Every right to flatten just a touch that last 1/8 of a mile. I think this is a horse I'm going to use within the mix. I go pit stop, man, out of that same race with Addie's Laddie TNT, where we got to make up 6 lengths, Dan. But I just didn't thought this horse was kind of taking the rating a little too soon, needed to get involved. The race got away from him early. I like the effort. 7/8 right now in his career. And Laurel might be asking a little too much, but I do think he's still going to hold a little value today. And can I make that move with Torrealba from just off the pace? Because I think Addie's Laddie might be the target again.
Addie's Laddie, I think, is the target again,
Yeah.
only this time Quinn Cannon might show a
Yeah,
little bit of
yeah.
speed and try to go with Addie's Laddie TNT. That helps a horse like Pit Stop Man. It helps a horse like Bill of Rights. And you said we have to make up a little bit more than 6 lengths, but why not? It was a speed-favoring
Yes,
track
it was.
last time out. And Addie's Laddie TNT, as you mentioned in the Open, had a beautiful, beautiful trip under Forrest Boyce, just controlling a slow pace and sprinting on home. I think Pit Stop Man's dirtied up coming into this race. His prior form is good, and he might offer a little bit of value on the tote for J.G. Torrealba. Let's talk about Addie's Laddie TNT. This horse has always been consistent throughout his career, and it was nice to see last time out off the Corrales claim that he can still step, although he did have everything his own way, so demand some value today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a surprise to me. We thought, with Forrest, okay, take back a little bit, make the move. Had some trouble a couple races back, got some, had to steady a little bit. I think it was 3 races back out in a little pickle around the 16th pole, but man, came out on top and she said, let's go ahead and go. You're right. I do think a horse like Cloud Music's going to show a little bit more speed along with Pit Stop Man, even your horse from the inside if it comes away cleanly. But the Corrales barn, dangerous. They get these horses, these lower level claimers sometimes, and they get them in form. They just keep running and running and running. Addie's Laddie TNT should still enjoy a good trip because you know what? One thing Forrest Boyce is going to do, she's not going to get engaged in anything too soon. She's going to be patient enough, measure everything. By the time they hit the 3/8 pole, she'll take it from there.
Don't want to give short shrift to our third pick, the 8 Quinn Cannon, who was bet down to 9-2 into the teeth of a sharp horse in Everett Song and just never got a breather.
No.
Battled all the way around the track with Cloud Music, got the better of Cloud Music, but they both were gasping for air in the stretch. This time around, turning back to 7. I love horses turning back to 7. I think he can stay within stalking range of Addie's Laddie TNT. I might not have to work as hard to get that forward position.
I chased him last time. I thought he ran all in all pretty good. Morning Thoughts has come back to win. The 2-back try, the way Yoda Lee Hey-Ho came out of there to go ahead and gallop. He's got some good positional speed, and I think he will bring a finish today at the 7/8 of a mile.
Keith's going 5, 9, 8, and 1. I'm going 1, 9, 8, and 2 in the kickoff leg of our late value pick 5 with a low 12% takeout. Let's move on to race number 6. We're going 3/4 of a mile. This is a maiden claiming race for 3-year-olds, 12.5 down to 10. Maryland breds have the option of running for the $15,000 price. Let's take out the 3 Downtown Man. This is the first leg of our late pick 4. 50-cent minimum wager, competitive racing all the way around, and I think there is potential for some big prices in this pick 4.
Yeah, again, I mean, you saw the single that Mac had there. I mean, it's the sequence that was starting in race 5. So come back, join in for the late pick 4. Let's go to the video spotlight in race number 6. We got like 4 horses coming out of the same race. I'm going to talk about Bye Bye Wicked Eye. We'll also touch upon Imperial Sky, We Called Saul, and even Honors Due, who was good. But Bye Bye Wicked Eye out of the gate. A little bump around, had to ease back around the far turn. We're going to see this again, so that horse takes back there a little bit early. But let's look at Bye Bye Wicked Eye leaving the far turn down inside.
I thought he was best in this race because you see he's being outpaced a little bit, and now Toledo is going to angle this horse to the outside, and it looks like he's got all the momentum in the world, and you're going to see just as they approach the 3/16 pole, this horse drifts in a little bit, and when he does drift in, watch what happens. He drifts in behind horses.
Yes.
So now Toledo briefly has to steady, get to the outside again, and Bye Bye Wicked Eye is forced to re-rally. The fact that he just misses in here is a sign this horse ran very, very well. I thought he ran the best race.
He did. I mean, he closed up about 3.5, almost 4 lengths to that last 16th of a mile on a track that was holding speed. We saw a couple horses, though, that really kind of jumped up and ran much better races than in recent. Obviously, Robbie's horse was coming off of the debut, but Honors Due even all of a sudden. And that horse stayed on quite well down inside.
I'm beginning to wonder if I love that race or not, because when you see 4 horses on the line on dirt, were there really 4 exceptionally good performances in that race, or was the race mediocre at best? Honors Due is a horse that on paper, was hard to imagine him running that well.
Yeah.
He showed improved early speed, which I think is a good sign
Yeah.
for a horse that hasn't done much. And after that race was over, he actually seemed to gallop out very well. Now, maybe it was just a muddy track and he loves it, but he's going to be a giant price in this race. And I'm expecting him to show speed again. The problem is he might have to deal with your second pick early, and that is We Called Saul. And you came up with a really good stat on We Called Saul.
We got a stat here for trainer Robbie Bales over the last few years, and it's a good one. Look at this on the dirt. 5 for 18, 28% with the maidens making their third career start. Look at that ROI, 822. He pulled something off recently. Fair Trade, I believe, was one third time out and made like an 8-point buyer jump. Now, that horse did change hands, came back. It was a reclaim by Robbie, but made an 8-point jump in the buyer figures off of debut. So if you project a little bit more improvement, and we also kind of look gone coming past the 3/16 to the 8th pole, got the staggers late, but that, now 2 races under its belt, the progression here out to 6. I can see this one again going ahead, spying honors due, but my slight edge goes to Bye Wicked Eye. Avoid the trouble. I think this one can sit back a little bit further. Stop basically almost twice in that race. The bump at the start and then around the far turn, and actually almost 3 times, and then coming to the 16th pole, 8th pole. That was enough. I like the 6 furlongs here. Bye Wicked Eye. Slight lean here in race number 6.
Our third pick, Imperial Spy, is the morning line favorite. This horse was the beaten favorite in his last 2 races, including the race we just saw where he was third. We're getting to the point with Imperial Spy, who had every chance. He was tracking 3 wide. He was in between horses. Does he really want it? I mean, if he runs back to some of his numbers, he figures right there. But he's another horse that you have to say, this is a gambling game. Demand a price.
You have to demand a price, and we just might not get it. I mean, you've got this one, on the line? 8-5. Yeah, that's, and I think
It'll
you're right. He's going to
with
take
the
a lot.
9.
Yeah, those 2 are going to take a lot of money, and you're right. So what do? You go with the 4, who you're going to get some value on. I like that play, and I think the 7 would probably be my key in race number 6 if we're looking a little bit later in the card. To look for a little bit more value. They look like the 2.
But it's a spread for me to kick off the late pick 4. I do like the 4. He probably gets the least amount of my money on a pick 4 ticket if I'm weighing it, and I'm using your top pick, the 9 We Called Saul, and I'm using the 7, and I'm probably fading the 8 in the pick 4s, hoping that he's an underneath play in single race exotics. This is also the first leg, by the way, of our $1 jackpot super high 5.
That's
and
right.
we've got a pretty big carryover.
Yes, we do.
We're approaching 10 grand into the carryover in the jackpot super high 5. So get involved. Big field. Race number 6.
Okay.
Let's move on to race number 7. It's a starter optional claiming event. We're going to take out 2 horses in here. One of the Jamie Ness trained entry. The 1, he's in charge. The 7, Midnight Renegade. We're going 3/4 of a mile. 30,000 claiming option. 20,000 starter allowance. Monday morning QB has just been on fire lately. He's the 6-5 morning line favorite. I do want to start though with your top selection, Quick Tempo.
Okay.
I think Quick Tempo is the speed of this race.
Absolutely, the speed of the speed. And we've got, do we have a stat? Yeah, we do have a stat for Jamie Ness with these runners. Penn coming back to Maryland, which I thought, I did not see that till later this morning and saw that stat. It was really, really good. Do we have that one, guys?
I don't think
we
we
didn't
have
run
that
that?
one,
Maybe we had it on the, did we have it on the guide? Maybe we did. Maybe
we might. I think we have it on the guide.
Okay. Well, that's where I got confused. Damn, my bad. But anyhow, trust in that stat. It was a good one. Quick Tempo. Let's go to the video spotlight of Monday Morning Quarterback because you're going to get 2 for the price of 1. That was the race involving Quick Tempo, 2 races back. A horse that likes Laurel but gets run down by Monday Morning Quarterback this particular afternoon.
Yeah, we see the break here for the number 7 in this race. Just doesn't break very sharp, but does it really matter at the end of the day? Monday Morning Quarterback is an old class master, and in the form he's in right now, he can overcome any sort of issue. He's still in behind horses looking for somewhere to go. Quick Tempo is kind of rolling on the lead, but Monday Morning Quarterback is handled very patiently, stays inside, doesn't mind the dirt in his face, and once he gets into the clear, he kicks down Quick Tempo, and he was flattered when Quick Tempo, as you mentioned, came back as an odds-on favorite and aired at Penn National.
Took the heart out of my old boy right there. I tell you, I thought Quick Tempo was gone at the quarter pole. I'm thinking, okay, I'm calling it. And then all of a sudden I picked up this horse right through the wire. Look at Monday Morning Quarterback. So sharp. Now he changes hands. goes to Henry Walters, a barn that just won a stake the other day. What do you think here? Went right back off the claim?
Well, Henry doesn't have the greatest numbers off the claim, but looking back, his last 5 first off the claim runners, they've all hit the board.
Okay.
And the barn's going so well right now. I'm not going to say that trainer stat is a negative here. With Monday morning quarterback, a horse with his kind of class, I respect him immensely. I have no idea what we're going to get from Laddie Dance off of the layoff. All I know is the last time we saw him, we know the barn was doing very well at that point in time, but that was a different Laddie Dance than what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah.
He got bumped at the break. He's 5 path on the backstretch. He's 5 wide through the turn, 7 wide into the stretch, and he keeps going. And then the runner-up comes back, and he hits the board in his next 2 races with an 82 and an 81 buyer. That was a big effort for Laddie Dance. This layoff does concern me a little bit, and if the pace isn't hot, it could work against him. But I think Laddie Dance is going to be somewhat fresh off the layoff and stay within range. I like that last race.
No, it was huge. And like we talked about Bobby Lee, if you were betting his horses, you were making out really, really well. But Whiskey and you might have something to say about it on the front end a little bit. I just still don't think he's quite as fast, his quick tempo. I'm going to take this Ness horse right back, see if he can get back to his old track. He likes 3 for 6, 5 for 6 in the money here at Laurel. Stretch that speed today and get it done.
Keep an eye on Incinerator breaking from the rail for Jose Magana off the claim, and again Sugar Steve last time out getting a little bit of a drop. We saw Sugar Steve come back, win a first level allowance with an 84 buyer. 1A, 3, 4, and 5 speed for Keith. 4, 3, 1A, and 5. We'll see if Laddie Dance can do it off of the layoff. Late double time for the feature race of the afternoon. That's race number 8. We're going a mile and a 16th. We're going to scratch Maryland Million Classic winner Brilliant Ice. This is a high-level allowance for 4-year-olds and up with a $55,000 optional claiming tag. Wild Vine gets Lasix, and maybe that's the key for Wild Vine. We have a video spotlight for the last time Wild Vine had Lasix. It was at this level 2 starts back, and he broke sharp. He was able to get to the outside here, and he's always traveling very comfortably. He makes the lead without any sort of fuss. Just look at the jock. Take a very confident peek back, turning for home. It takes him a while to change leads in the stretch, but he was really never in any danger. The one concern when watching this race, because you have several horses coming out of it, is this pace wasn't fast, as you can see by the fractions. Maybe a horse like Catalea Strike, maybe a horse like Union Fleet, they were compromised by the race flow.
Yeah, he moved well in hand up to go ahead and collar that leader, leaving the 5/16. They 25 and 1, 49 and 2, right? You're asking Catalea Strike, Union Fleet to move into those kind of fractions, into that quality group. That's a tough ask. Now, I do think Wild Vine's going to have to be a little bit sharper early today because he's going to have to spy Regalo. I think this horse towards the outside for Brittany Russell, the 5, is going to go ahead and go. Kind of hasn't, showed some sharper speed last time, stretched out a mile 16. Now freshened up. It'll be interesting to see what we get from Regalo, but I think this horse is getting ready to hedge back again, run a close to an 86. The light bulb kind of kicked on to me. It gave way grudgingly, keyed up, and even Billy Humphrey caught on his analysis of that last, a little getting out. Should have had a little trouble with Regalo. Maybe things off of this little break, they figured things out. I'm looking for a good effort. We've got a stat here for Brittany Russell. And this is with the older horses. We don't usually get this a lot, but the last 3 years with the dirt routes with these older horses, 12 for 33 off of a top buyer figure and ROI of 237. On the go back, this horse is beating some good horses. Panda Gate, it was a really strong race at Colonial. Real gutsy try in that stake. I think Regala goes.
Yeah.
If this guy relaxes, I think he's going to be tough to get by.
He's the speed, and I also think he's the upside horse in this race. I
Exactly,
don't think we've seen his best just yet, even though he is an older horse. My top pick is the 1 Wild Vine. I went 1, 4, 6, and 5 in here. I think Wild Vine has the ability to stay close to the pace, and I just have a feeling the Lasix getting back on
key,
Wild Vine is going to be key. Catalea Strike is just a hard hitter, though, and if the 1 and the 5 do kind of occupy themselves, it could set things up for him. I like the fact that he has a little bit of class. He always seems to try hard in the stretch, and he'll be running on at the end. I think a mile and an 1/8 last time out in the Campbell was a little bit far for him. I think this is his distance.
No, I like him in here today. No doubt he's going to be used into the mix. I do think got to be careful again, though, because I think both Wild Vine, again, back with the Lasix, a 380 ROI kind of stat as well for Flint Stites with these runners moving back to the Lasix. they could really walk the dog up here if Torres and Russell avoid any kind of let's throw it down once we get into the backstretch. They're going to be walking the dog up front against this group, and I just think they take it a long, long way. But Catalay strike, he's a trier. He had every chance to lay down last time. He even beaten 6. He kept on with effort behind Speediness and Awfully Cool as he comes back to the yell today.
Let's close this out with race number 9, Maiden Claimer, 12-5 down to 10. Fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. We have a field of 7. Wampy, the number 4, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Wampy is where I'm going to go in here. This horse is halving in price. And this horse kind of hit the gate at the start last time out, wound up in between, down on the rail. I like the way Wampy finished. I like the fact that Wampy galloped up with a little bit of interest. I think she's still lightly raced enough that we haven't seen her best. Second off the layoff for a trainer-jockey combination that's going very well.
Yeah, I take a shot here with Paperback Edition.
Speed.
Alpha Freshening is the speed, I believe, of the speed. We've talked to Sarah Del Fabro on this show. We say, Sarah, let's get to the front. Let's keep going. Let's do it again here with Paperback Edition for trainer Mary Epler. The 2-back try is good enough for me. Late rebid after going through chasing those internal fractions, 23, 147, 1. La Chica for Tequila and these other horses. They've come back. Bondspell, good enough numbers to give me a little hope to get out late on the front end with Paperback Edition. But the 6 Girl Gone Wild does add the blinkers for Kieran McGee.
Could be a big angle. Girl Gone Wild is a horse you want to keep an eye on. We do have a trainer stat for Kieran and Girl Gone Wild. This is second after the claim, 5 for the last 18. Positive return on investment. I like this horse's debut. It was a sloppy track, saved ground, took mud in the face, split horses, galloped out well. I don't know what happened last time out. She just did not fire at all. But with the Kieran stat, with the blinkers on, I won't be surprised at all if it's a big wake-up.
No, I can see that. Maybe May for Dilla DeVico, another one I think didn't run terribly. Look at the short comment. 3 wide inside foes trying, giving that effort. I think this one could jump up underneath maybe that try superfecta. You're going to use it a big number, but I take the shot with the deuce here, Paperback Edition.
I'll see if Wampy can run him down in the stretch. You've got the speed. I arguably have the closer. 2-6-1-4 for Keith, 4-1-6-2 for me. Best play time on the day. Keith, where you heading?
Comes early. Race 2. Race 2, we're going to go outside with Gilda's Girl. Now, we're going to drop off of this number, unfortunately, off the morning line with a scratch in the nest runner, ribbons in her hair. But we talked about it. There's not a lot of speed in Race 2. This horse is proven over a route of ground, over the 2 turns. Confident move by this barn. It's a high percentage barn first off the claim and a slight bump up. Gilda's Girl should get the flow that she likes and brings the finish.
I'll go race 4. Number 1, Bjorn, 5-2 on the morning line. Like the blinkers on for this Hugh McMahon trainee. Think he's going to tuck in behind the speeds. Ran into a good one last time out in Pay Billy. 9 on the slate today. 2 pick 5s, 12%, low takeout. Take advantage of both. We've got carryovers in the Super High 5, Chesapeake pick 6, and we're going to head on up to our good friend Dave Rodman for scratches and changes.
Good luck.